I'm really trying to figure out like what's going on in the world today, like with this world, period, all over the world, and within our own city. I seen I've never seen people do a positive thing in one sense and then turn around and do the complete opposite of what you just did. It's unbelievable to me to see like people are looting, breaking into all these. Somebody died yesterday. You know how this nigga died? He tried to blow up an ATM machine. All right, look, that's not funny that he died. That's not
No, it's
funny that
not.
he
I'm
died.
laughing at you. Let me just say
But
that.
listen,
I'm
but listen, the nigga tried to blow up an ATM machine and he killed himself.
But welcome to the Uncensored show.
Yeah,
No,
welcome.
no, no.
We already
If they are
started.
if they are listening, they know what
They
they
already
listening
know.
the fuck to. These niggas is out here fucking tripping. They breaking into KFC. I can't get no toilet tissue right now.
Okay, see.
These niggas broke into KFC around my way. I don't know if they trying to get mashed potato bowls, a fill-up box, but they broke into that shit. They broke into the hair store around the corner from my crib, and then one of the niggas who broke into the hair store came walking down my block trying to sell us shit.
He wasn't trying to sell it. That was the problem. We was like, niggas, you was gonna show us the fucking hair or no?
Oh shit, that's right. You was there.
Oh, it was the
Kyra,
same day.
yo,
It was.
Yeah, it was on my
He
fucking
like, yeah, I got a bag of hair. We like, my nigga, like, you gonna show us? He gonna go fuck out of here and left. Like,
Listen, this shit is getting so out of hand. Like every Rite Aid, every CVS, all the Walgreens, they even went in Walmart on Aramingo Avenue. Like, I get it because we are upset. You do a lot of peaceful protesting, and it's just like when you push an individual to the ledge, he's bound to snap. I get it that we are bound to snap, but damn, they broke into the chick, her clothing store, Maple Marie, on
Maple
and
Marie.
Manny Up. I think that's how you say that shit. Yeah, it's a
I don't even know who that is.
yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's a popular clothing line in Philly. But why would you break into that? It's black owned. It's two girls. I mean, one live here, one live in Atlanta. But why would you do that? Like that girl started from the bottom, and you know what I mean. She's trying to make her dreams come true, and that is not the way to show your love and support for George Floyd.
So,
Well,
go ahead, Ron.
I was just gonna say, clearly, the people that are looting and doing things like that have nothing to do with George Floyd and the support and protest against the actions of what they're doing. These people are people who want to steal, and white people who are just causing havoc in these neighborhoods. It has nothing to do with that. And that's the part that's pissing me off the most. So I don't want to continue because I don't know if Kyra was going to say something else, and I don't want to make a segue. So,
I mean, I feel like
back to you.
I mean,
Jen.
y'all saw, if you follow me, you saw the post that I put up. I mean, I've had feelings about it, but I do want to be clear. I'm not Trina. I think it's more important that
Trina got her ass dragged today.
Trina got her ass dragged. And I mean, what Trina was saying, we understand, but the way she said it was a little bit too much. And there's a couple things happening right now in the world, but I do want to say waking up on this Wednesday morning and seeing some of the progress from everybody, all the protests coming to life, makes you feel a little good, and it makes it feel a little bit worth it. Waking up knowing that, one, the main cop who had his foot on his fucking knee on the man's neck is now, being charged with second-degree murder. We still trying to get first degree, but listen, every time something else changes, that's a win for us. And we got to know that. We got to recognize that. The fact that the other three cops finally got convicted, or not convicted, charged, is a win for us. Fucking the statue downtown is a win for us. So yes, I'm very upset with the looting, but I think I want to still focus on why we're even in this place right now. Because the fact that at the end of the day, the only thing that stopped the COVID was fucking racism. Mm-hmm. Because niggas is like, is COVID even still a thing? Like, I forgot about, like, I went out today without my fucking mask. Like, I forgot all about this shit.
There have been 19,000 new cases over the past few days. So it's still there. But speaking of what you said about the whole second-degree murder thing charge, and I think second degree is fine, but not that I would not want him convicted of murder or first-degree murder, but I feel like in the Attorney General for the state of Minnesota said today that they were going based off of the facts and everything based on what the charge is, because if they change that charge to first degree murder, it's more likely for him to be, this is not what the Senate, the AG said, but he can get off, he can be acquitted for those things. And they have to be very careful. And I believe that Attorney General is hell-bound set on making sure that these people are charged to the extent, the fullest extent of the law. You can tell in his mannerisms and how he speaks about it when he talks about it. And also, he is a person of color, so hopefully that means a lot, because you never know, he could be a coon. But I just want to make sure, and just like I was telling one of my friends earlier in the group chat, they were saying that they want the other police officers convicted of murder too. And I get that, and I do too. But if other footage doesn't come out to prove that they have more involvement in the actual death, which it seems like if they go off of the outside autopsy, since he died from asphyxiation to his body, they could probably prove that they had something to do with that.
Right. But they had a lot to do with it, because if they wasn't on his body, if they wasn't on his body, if you looked at George Floyd, he was a husky ass old head. So by that dude just being on his neck, he would have got off. Right. He would have been able to get off.
Those people were on him. I did see some of those videos, but what I don't, and I don't want anybody to get what I'm saying misconstrued, that I don't want them to be convicted. I just want to make sure that those charges stick and they're not acquitted.
Like, we don't want to.
I would much rather them just be charged for whatever is going to fit that and get them sent to jail, because the judge can determine the sentence according to and give them whatever the most time that they could get from them if they want to. But like, I don't want them to sit up here and be like, just to satisfy everybody and be like first degree murder for everybody, and then you get into court, because if it's this much reasonable doubt, they can get acquitted right off the bat. Right. I mean, because when you're in jury duty, if you have any kind of doubt on what that's brought up from the defense's end, you cannot convict that person based on that. And I thought that before ever serving that on jury duty, that I would be like, oh, I'm gonna just no. When I'm telling you, you feel in your body, like if you're a person of morals, you'll be like, I can't do it. Like, it's so frustrating. And I would hate to sit on a jury like that and have a little bit of reasonable doubt and have to say not guilty because of that. So I would want to make sure those charges hold.
I don't think there can be any reasonable doubt. Number one, let's not get this. Let's talk about the facts. Number one, the police wasn't called for a violent crime, for a man with a gun, for a man with a knife, a kidnapping, a raping, a guy with a bomb, anything like that. They were called because he allegedly had a fake $20 bill or some fake money. Mm-hmm. That's number one. It wasn't a violent crime. Wasn't a violent crime. So it wasn't called for what they brought. Number two, if you look at it, George Floyd looked like he was kind of intoxicated, had a couple shots or something, right? Number three, they took him out the car, put him in handcuffs, and jammed the cuffs on him. And if you watch the video, he was in pain the entire time because the cuffs were too tight. So I understand about the first degree thing with the main cop because he probably can get off, but I don't think there's no way in the world. But this is America, number one. It's a white man's world, number two. But if they were charging him with first degree murder, right, and he got off, and if we think that the looting and rioting shit right now is bad, it's gonna be 10 times worse than what they did to Rodney King. What they did to Rodney King was on film. This was like 95, 97 when they did the Rodney King. Somebody filmed that shit. But this is a different era. Social media, everybody in the world seen it. The autopsy came back that it was a homicide. It was ruled a homicide. So I, in my heart of hearts, don't feel like he would get off. If they move that shit up to first degree murder, they moving it up for a reason. And not because they gonna let this motherfucker get off.
Oh yeah, I agree. Now if they do that, because he said that if they change the charges, that's the reason why they moved it up from manslaughter to from third degree to second degree murder, because based on the facts. So I mean I totally agree with that. And I'm just thinking out, just trying to take my emotions from the subject and to try not to include them, because I just don't like, for what you just said. I think that you could probably find more in there, maybe on if they keep going through other stuff to find out, especially if they find tweets or anything that cop said, anything remotely close to the next time I see somebody, if I see a black man and they can use that and make it first degree murder, because that would be that.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Because when in first degree murder, it's the intent to kill somebody. Now, premeditated. That's premeditated. So if it's a second degree murder, it starts off from you just being everyday things happening, and then this person died because of your actions. So that seems to fall more in line to where you could still serve a life sentence off of second degree murder. Even some of the misdemeanor murder, the felony murder charges. Now, I don't know that's why I'm saying, like, I know that the other 3 cops were on him, and the 2 cops and the Tao might be the conspiracy charge more than anybody, because although he saw what was happening, he didn't physically do anything. He just didn't do anything. So the conspiracy to attempt,
he can get life too. But listen,
they can figure out a way.
but listen, the cop who put his knee in his neck had 18 complaints. Child had between 4 to 6 complaints. So they're gonna look at that.
Did?
If you, so if you're gonna go look, if you're gonna go all the way back in the world, all the way back in time to look at George Floyd and whatever he did in the 9th grade. Look previously to what happened. All the complaints. 18 complaints as a fucking cop. 18? Come on, man.
And they was bad. They was some crazy shit. Like, I was like, damn. I was reading that like, this nigga been fucking people up from the muscle.
For a long time. Yup.
From the muscle.
One of the good things too that I'm glad about, that's a good thing, is the fact that it's being charged as a murder, like it's going to be a murder trial. So that means that the state is going against them. So and the people, and it looks like it's going to be like the attorney general, like up the ADA or somebody like that is going to do it, versus the local district attorney, where they would have to recuse themselves anyway, because they wouldn't be able to try them in that case, because everybody they're more, that would be like somebody from locally, and then Larry Krasner has to go up against them, which wouldn't be good because they're local police officers. So they would need to get a state, the attorney general. I think that they're the people who are going after them anyway for the state. Which I hope that they try them in Minneapolis too, because the chances of them getting 12 jurors that are going to, at least 6 jurors that are going to be biased towards the police is because I think you only have 10 chances to dismiss a juror based on how you feel like that you think that they wouldn't be appropriate for that case. So, here we go with this shit, man. So who got that? So I guess it's gonna be coming to us soon.
Sorry, tornado warning.
Dang.
When I tell you they said this was Mother Nature saying, "Sit your motherfucking asses down," guy. This was Mother Nature. Like y'all ain't gonna be out in these motherfucking street looting tonight.
You can't hear me? Check to see if it went on mute. Tap the screen.
No, he's not on mute.
He's not on mute. Oh.
That's what I'm telling you. I think the signal is gonna be crazy because of the storm.
So, guys, we're going to take a quick break and come back to make sure that we can, give you the fullest episode that we can.
Oh, wait. All right. So, look. So did you guys go out and vote yesterday? I went and voted. I was about to call Jordan because I didn't see his name. Like, I didn't see no state representative.
Well, he ain't in your district.
He not in your district, fool.
I see, listen, at first, I didn't know that. So I'm like, where the fuck is Jordan's name at, right?
Malcolm Kenyatta should have been in your district. Was he
a conspiracy?
Who?
Malcolm Kenyatta? Did you vote for him?
No, Kenyatta wasn't in my district.
Oh, okay. He was in mine.
It's a couple Kenyatta. It's a Kenyatta Johnson and a Malcolm Kenyatta.
Malcolm Kenyatta. So, my friend Bianca. Yeah, my friend Bianca, she worked on his campaign when he first got elected. So, she's good friends for him from school. So I knew Malcolm for a while. He was in my district, so I got a chance to vote for him again, which was great. Jordan wasn't in my district, but I did say yesterday, like I got on Jordan's live, and I would say, me personally, that episode that we did have Jordan, and I wish I want to like redo our clips of that, because I just think like, and I said this yesterday on a live, like having a personal relationship with somebody in the politics really makes your view on politics different. I agree. It's in politics a lot, but after listening to Jordan, like I tell him, I say, I really appreciate you because you're I don't want to say dumb it down, but you're able to speak to us so we understand what you're saying. So like,
because yesterday on his live,
like he was telling us what he's doing for the city, what they're trying to do. Like, we're not just gonna keep talking about police reform, but what does police reform really look like in Philadelphia and the different things that they were saying. I was like, yes, like I understood everything. So like, if you don't know anything about your state representatives or your people that's in your district that's representing your district, you should really get out and start to learn them. Even like Jordan, he's not in our district, but getting that connection with someone is very important, and to really start understanding if it's important to you to start understanding like what's actually happening around you. Because I felt like I was able to like better educate myself on the policies and things that are in place that are either stopping, hindering us as a community, or what are some changes that are going to be in place. So, and definitely need to learn who the district person is representative.
Even if you don't necessarily know them, take a couple seconds out of your day to Google them or look them up on social media. Their social media platforms will tell you if they fight and believe in the same things that you believe in. Because although I already knew this, but there's this she's like my age, excuse me, maybe 30 something, so a little bit younger than me. But she is a state rep up here in the Northeast. She's a Republican representative, but she actually believes in doing a whole grassroots support and stuff like that. Because she came and knocked on my door one time during one of the elections and was asking me if I was going to, support her with and I was just like, I just took her information. But yesterday I went and looked her up on Facebook to see. I already knew I wasn't voting for her, but I already voted for somebody else in this area, but I couldn't. I got a text message asking me if I wanted to vote for this guy, Brendan. I think his name was whatever. I can't remember his name, Brendan Boyle or somebody. And I couldn't find much information. He's not right around. He's in Pittsburgh. So I was like, why did I even get that? But then I Googled the person who I actually ended up, because I did a mail-in ballot. And I looked him up on his social media, and he had all kinds of stuff about police reform and stuff about George Floyd. Her name Martina McBride, she ain't have shit on there talking about funding the police and making sure that they protect all our neighborhoods, so that means she's all lives matter. I was like, I'm so glad I'm not going to vote for somebody like that. And so you just make sure because up here, I know where I live is going to be a little bit different, kind of fish towny up here. Like, it's going to be like that. So I'm kind of, I can only do as much as I can do. So I'm gonna make sure I vote for somebody. I definitely put my vote in because
and to piggyback off what Kyra said, we gonna move on. Everything happened for a reason, right? Mm-hmm. I met Jordan Harris at Bala Inn, and I went up to him and I was like, "Yo, you Jordan Harris, right?" And, I don't do shit like that. No, I want Super Joe.
I want to play with you. Are you a Jordan? Like,
she gonna sneak that in there. She was all like, Joe is shit.
But listen, I respected that nigga enough to approach him and just to holler at him on just regular, like, yo, because I was following before I met him. You know what I'm saying? Because I like to follow and listen to people who talking about, who knows what they're talking about. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't trying to get off subject, but I'm a big fan of T.D. Jakes. Not because, I'm a Christian, I grew up in the church, but besides all that, this nigga is really, but this nigga is really, really smart. Like, T.D. Jakes is really, really smart. And I was like, damn, this nigga Jordan Harris, I'm voting for you. Whatever you running for, I'm voting for. So I said that to say, I appreciated him being a down-to-earth state representative, whereas though, yes, he showed us that he was normal. That, yes, I can go to a bar and have a drink and I can still represent my community. I'm not out here tripping. I'm not out here, getting fucked up or anything. And even if he did got fucked up, right? And not saying, I know he didn't, but I'm just saying, he would have made sure he was up the next morning, 5 a.m., to get everything in line. You know what I mean? That's how professional he is. And I'm so glad that we was able to meet with him. I was so glad that he was able to come on the show. I tried to get Mark Lamont Hill on the show. And, that just fell by the wayside. And I understand they're on two different type of platforms. Mark Lamont Hill used to be on CNN. And they fired that black nigga. But he's another smart nigga that I want to talk to.
He is smart.
This nigga is, man, like, how do you remember all this shit? Like, I don't remember birthdays and what I did 2 weeks ago.
But you know what? You're one of them people, you remember the things that are important. Like, I'm not getting birthdays, but like, I feel like every time I'm sitting with you on wine, I'm like, what the fucking encyclopedia is going on? Like, why do you always know something? Like, I don't even know why I'm on the show. Why am I on the show? Right. I don't know that. I'm just here for the giggles.
Look, that's our next big thing to do. See if we can get Mark Lamont Hill. Maybe I can talk to Jordan and see if we can get him. Just we don't need the whole hour. Mark, give us 20 minutes. Uncle Bobby's, give us 20 minutes. I just love how you go at.
We'll even come there and record it.
We'll come to Uncle Bobby's if you open, my G. Like, we want to talk to smart people who are like, these guys are more educated than us in this type of field. And Jordan drops so much knowledge. I was like, God,
he does.
Listen, when I got to that vote poll yesterday, I didn't even look at Joe Biden's name. I was like, where Jordan Harris at? Where Jordan Harris? And I'm looking. So what made me realize he wasn't in my district, when I went on Instagram and looked up his name, and he is the 186th district. And whatever district I'm in is 198. So I can't remember what it was. But his name wasn't on it. So I knew he wasn't in my district where I couldn't vote for him. So I'm glad all y'all went out and voted and stuff like that. So, like, what's y'all take on these? Well, what?
Can I just say one more thing about voting, just in case people who are listening don't know? I just want to make sure that people realize that the presidential election is not the most important election. We have to vote in local elections, making sure that we vote the proper people into the judicial system, the state legislation and Congress, because the congressional people control the electoral college, and that is how the president is elected, and that is why Donald Trump won over Hillary Clinton, because she won the popular vote, but she did not win the electoral college.
Right.
And that in turn is control. I mean, Congress is controlled by the Republicans right now. Now, if that's what you believe, that's what you believe, but that doesn't mean you have to vote for somebody in your district who you don't have the same beliefs as. Just want to make sure that's clear, because I had a conversation with my cousin earlier today. He posted something on Instagram and talking about, like, why should we vote when it's not going to matter when the electoral college has control over it. But if you vote the right people into Congress, that's where all the changes are made. I just want to make sure everybody.
Yeah. That's so true. I don't know if a lot of people do know that, but look, your neighborhood and your community is not going to change because of the president. It's going to change if everybody that's in your county or in your district. You know who was in mine? Dwight Evans. Dwight Evans was in mine, and I met him years ago. He's a nice guy. I think
he's nice, but I think it's time to move on from him. Like,
yeah, because he's been around for a minute, and I just think, like, that you've been around. Not that he's too old, but you've been around for a minute, and I haven't actually seen any major changes.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I think it's definitely time to move on from him. They actually removed the Rizzo statue last night, which has been a long time coming. Frank Rizzo was
racist bitch.
Frank Rizzo didn't play no fucking games, but he was oh my God. But the thing about Frank Rizzo didn't just do that to black people. It was more noticeable about black folks, but he treated white people damn near the same way, especially news reporters. He couldn't stand it. He couldn't stand fucking news reporters. He had a lot of clout back in the day. Frank Rizzo had, if I'm not mistaken, I need a fact checker. Who was Frank Rizzo? You got your laptop open? No? Was Frank Rizzo was he the mayor? Was he the acting mayor when they did that bombing down in South Philly on Osage Street?
Oh no, that was mayor. That was Wilson Good.
That was Wilson Good? Wow.
Let me just double check.
But you know what? You might be right about that. Because I think that
either Wilson Good was the mayor or he was the district attorney. He's one of them. Let me see. But you keep talking, I'm going to be looking at it.
No. But Frank Rizzo he had a lot of clout. A lot of people didn't fuck with him, but he was the mayor. He made it known that he didn't like people of color, like, you know what I'm saying, like Trump, like, you know what I'm saying. It's just people always say something about Trump, and I'm like, you gotta understand one thing about Donald Trump. The difference between every other president and Donald Trump, and the reason why Trump talked the way he talked with no intellect, is because he's not a politician. He is a businessman. So he don't know how to answer a tough question. So if you ask a businessman a tough question, you put P. Diddy in the room. He's a businessman. And you ask him some shit that he don't want to answer. I'm a businessman. I make billions of dollars. Who are you to me? I don't got to answer that. I can just get up and walk away. But when you're talking to a politician, a senator, a mayor, a governor, and they be pissed off, they will not answer you in the manner that Donald Trump answered you. So who was the acting mayor?
It was Wilson. It was Wilson Good.
So Wilson Good was the acting mayor. I did not know that. I mean,
he made the call to do that.
Wow, I did not know that.
Have you ever seen the documentary on Netflix?
But I never. You know what?
Not because of your answer, but that makes it's crazy how they were. They treated those people sort of like how they did the whole Jim Jones thing in Waco. Not Jim Jones. David Koresh.
David Koresh. I watched that shit too. I ain't like it. Hold on. This is a segue. Hold on, because I just talking about Donald Trump. I'm sorry. we're gonna get back to George Floyd. This is all about George Floyd. Did y'all niggas watch that Jeffrey Epstein fucking on Netflix?
Yes. You see, Anonymous put that thing out about.
I saw that. I saw it. Hold on. Let me get this straight. This nigga Jeffrey Epstein had cribs everywhere across the world. He had his own private island, right? The nigga had 0 degrees. He had no degrees, and he lied about everything. He made billions of fucking dollars by fucking lying. Fuck the freak shit. Like, I mean, even though they were, hold on, let's talk about that too. What's up with these billionaires fucking with these ugly ass kids?
I'm so sorry. Forgive me for laughing at that. I mean, y'all got to understand what it's like to be friends with somebody like that.
He was fucking with every 14-year-old, 15-year-old girl he was fucking with was ugly as shit.
Ugly. No, they were not all ugly.
Every last one of them was hit. And then when they got older, it was worse. Maybe
the
2
one
of
with
them
the braces,
good.
though, I'm like, how would they do that? She looked like a child.
I have no clue what you're talking about. This is what I was talking
about. You gotta.
Come on, Kyra, now. Come on. Jeffrey Epstein was this billionaire, financial somebody, guru, and he was friends with a bunch of people.
He was a what is it called? Finesser, because what he did was
finesse.
He got people he took the man who was the owner of the Limited Corporation, the clothing line.
Yeah.
The guy, he must have liked him or something, because this man he secretly, without his authorization, invested billions of his money into corporations where other people started investing too. So he just was making money. It wasn't until maybe not that long ago, in the later 2000s, that I forget his name, the owner, I forget his name, but he finally removes himself from him and said that he didn't give him any authorization to do any of this stuff. Now, it was all women that this was happening with, so they kept saying that Jeffrey Epstein was this guy's boyfriend possibly, but he was not. He just used his gigolo ways to get over and take all his money, and made himself a billionaire.
So let me just tell you one thing. When I saw that word, finesser, I didn't know what that shit was.
I didn't even see it. I thought I just came up with it. Like,
that's what you just said. That's not. Oh, that's not the word.
No, maybe you're talking about financier. That's probably what because that's what he was.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Because you said finesse, I'm like, that shit didn't look like finesse.
But in all actuality, that's what he was.
That's what he was.
Even though
he was finessing niggas like a motherfucker. Like, I'm gonna take your money and yours.
But he finessed in a way where he became one of the richest niggas. This nigga had a fucking island. He had his own private island.
That he had presidents on.
He had the biggest fucking crib in either in New York or Paris. Like the.
No, I think it was in the one, because the one that he did all the dirt in on the island looked like it was like a maid's quarters.
That shit, man. That shit was crazy, man. That shit. I'm sorry. Let's get back to George Floyd. I want to talk about fucking Drew Brees. Drew Brees is.
Oh my God.
Drew Brees is the NFL quarterback for the New Orleans Saints. I was a fan of Drew Brees. He's a great quarterback. And somebody asked him about Colin Kaepernick. I don't know if it was yesterday or today. And he said,
it was today.
It was today. So, when you don't kneel for the flag, I feel like a disrespect. I think about my grandfather and my great-grandfather who fought for this country and did this and did that. And I want to shout out LeBron James for tweeting this nigga right back. Like, yo, you don't know why Colin is fucking kneeling, dog? When they play this, or when they recite, what's that? What's the thing that say "Justice and Liberty for All"? Which one is that?
The Pledge of Allegiance.
The Pledge of Allegiance. Okay, Pledge of Allegiance and the national anthem. When you are hearing those songs, I look at I look at everybody differently when they feel like black people or anybody who is supporting Colin Kaepernick kneeling. When you look at that as disrespect to the flag. And I look at Drew Brees, right? I look at Drew Brees, and I wish we could make this a fucking clip so we can at him on this shit. But none of his family members has been killed by any police officer. Not his son, his little nephew Timmy, his wife's brother, his brother-in-law. Nobody from his family has been killed by a cop, and they wasn't armed. They was all these people that have been killed has been unarmed. You don't know what me and other black people are going through. None of your family members has been taken from a cop out their car for a traffic stop and wind up dead. No fucking gun. So when they talk like that, I can't relate to them because as y'all know, I always say we gotta look at things on both ends, on the woman's point of view and the guy's point of view, black guy point of view, white person. They only looking at, oh, you're disrespecting the flag. So you mean to tell me that little girl, George Floyd's daughter,
right?
Her father deserved that? It was 4 niggas on one person. And one motherfucker standing there trying to tell people, back up. If you're going to do something, I'm going to shoot you. That's why they are kneeling. It's no liberty and justice for all. It's none of that. I seen a video. I'm going to let you go, Kyra. I seen a video yesterday. This shit happened in South fucking Philly. A bunch of cops with a bunch of motherfuckers taking a picture, and the nigga had an AR-15. Pennsylvania is not an open carry state. The nigga was taking a video.
That was in Fishtown, wasn't it?
That was in Fishtown and in Port Richmond.
Those areas are notorious for racism from back in the day.
I don't fuck with Fishtown, and I don't fuck with Frank up the Northeast. That second police district, those I've got beaten. I personally got beaten up by a police officer when the Phillies won the fucking World Series. I got my ass beat for all I was trying to do was pull my brother away, and that's all they want. That's all they want you to see. That's all they want to see is a hand go up. If my hand went up, I was being violent to them. But my hand went backwards, like I got him. And they whooped my ass. They broke my phone, and they charged me for disorderly conduct. I got my hands behind my back, handcuffed, and I had 2 cops just sucker punching me for no reason. Bang, bang, just hit me. Just fucking hitting me for no reason. But Drew Brees, you never experienced that. None of your family members experienced that. None of them. None of them white folks that you live with, none of them motherfuckers experience what we experience. So when niggas is kneeling, it ain't got shit to do with nobody disrespecting the flag. This is supposed to be America. It's supposed to be justice and liberty for all. But it's only justice and liberty for white folks and
people who got
money. And people who look fucking white. But when it comes to
it don't even matter if you got money. Especially if you're a person of color.
Well, no. I mean if you got money if you're white.
Oh, yeah.
If you're white. Look, Jeffrey Epstein. Fucking Harvey Weinstein. Bill Cosby had all this kind of money.
I feel like the one thing I was talking about earlier about the whole Blackout Tuesday situation. And I went, I follow certain people on social media, like white, people on social media like are, just like different people and, celebrities or whatever. I purposely went to their Instagrams to see what they were posting. And I saw somebody post a clip of a girl saying, like, I'm glad we was able to manipulate you guys to see what y'all were really going to do. Because the whole point of Blackout Tuesday wasn't to mute. It was to only talk about what is going on. So don't put nothing up on your social about the TV show you on, or about the clothing line you got, or the jewelry, or no Fab Fit Fun Box. It was only supposed to be about what is happening. So it was like we low-key bullied to see, because it was like if you didn't post, you was exposing yourself to being on the other side. So what I started to see was like, let's really get into the white ally conversation. What does that look like? So I had a conversation with one of my white girlfriends, and I'm not even gonna say it was a conversation. It was a normal conversation. But it's very different. I feel like for me personally, when you have a white ally friend, right, your conversation doesn't change because you're already doing those ally things. So you don't even recognize that you had to have a different conversation. So I was talking to one friend when she said the girl called her, like, I haven't talked to this girl in years. She called my phone, like, I just want to know how you're doing. Like, it didn't feel genuine. You know what I mean? We're like, I have some of my coworkers who, the way they're talking, the things that they're doing is just so genuine. It's like, you can kind of tell when somebody's being genuine and when somebody's putting on a show. Mm-hmm. Like the clip of the white girl acting like she was putting up the board and like,
she got fired.
Got making her fucking bins.
You know, she was a journalist, right? She got fired.
Wow.
Oh, she did. I didn't know she was a journalist. I did not know that. Mm-hmm. But it's like, for me, when we talk about white allies and what do they really look like and what do they really feel like, we don't have to explain this shit to them. You see what I'm saying? They know what is going on. And
they know the black plight.
Right. Their way of responding is just by being there and supporting and vocally supporting, not just reposting. And that's what a lot of people did. Okay, you can repost a fucking Instagram, but have you spoke? Have people heard your voice? Because when you do, you'll lose a lot of followers under the people that's like, oh, all lives matter. Nobody give a fuck about all lives matters right now. We're talking about the black lives because that's what's in jeopardy. So it's not all lives matter. We know that. That's obvious, right? But within the all lives matter, these black lives matter because guess what? They are in jeopardy. Guess what? They are treated differently. I don't give a fuck about the all lives because right now our lives are in jeopardy. So when you have white allies really genuinely walking with you, supporting you, and just not even not even asking, but really wanting to just, really take that in and just figure out, like, not say that they know where we coming from. I don't want you to act like you know where I'm coming from because you don't. Right. You can never know where I'm coming from. You can never know where I'm coming from. But there are a lot of white allies that really do, march with us, support us, hear us. But for me, it's starting to become a bigger picture of what are you going to say when your other friend is going against us? Then what is happening behind closed doors? What are you going to say on your social media when they say all lives matters? Are you going to dispute that on social media? Mm-hmm. Are you going to block them?
And I've been looking for that kind of stuff too.
I have been too. And there was a couple people, and not a lot of people. It was a couple, actually, low key, there was a couple of black people. This one girl I know, she's mixed. Had to unfollow her. I unfollowed another reality TV person that he was a biracial black man, but he was like, I don't identify as a black man. I identify as biracial. What does that fucking mean? You look black. If you go outside, they see a black man. They don't see biracial. Sorry, sir. I know your mother's white, but guess what? They're not gonna know that until she pick you up from the precinct. Like, it does not matter. You still look black. So, sir, if you look black, stop saying biracial. Like, you are a black man. You have to understand that. So I done follow his motherfucking monkey ass. I don't call him monkey, but I done follow his ass.
I have to say that I'm glad to say that I have two of my best friends. I don't know if y'all have met my other friend Melissa, but y'all definitely met Stephanie. Or white people.
Who's the one we met at Cody's?
Stephanie.
Okay.
And she came to our live show and everything. But my other friend Melissa is the same. They're the same, but they don't look like people who you would normally think are like Hannah's, quote unquote, like Amanda Seale says. No, Karens are people who start trouble. Hannah's are white people. Exactly. So
okay, got it.
My friend, I actually found myself reposting stuff that she posted because she's the type of person, because of clauses with her job, where she's not supposed to post political things and stuff like that. And she has been lately, even to the point where her daughter's father was like, "Well, look at that! Like, look, you turn into a militant overnight," because she was like, some things are just more important, right. And that's what made she posts stuff like, "Do something." Don't just sit around and say, this is what it means to do this. This is what white privilege is. This is what this is. And then my other friend, now, if she just all of a sudden started coming out posting stuff, would be weird because she doesn't usually do that anyway. However, she works for a very big bank that I'm not going to say any names because I don't know if this can affect her job. And I haven't asked her, if I had already asked her, I should have done that. Right. I would have just put it out there. But she, in her meeting with her executive board this week, she works in the legal department for a big bank, and she was talking about, and you could see it in her voice and hear it in her voice, that she was frustrated with the fact that her company had not put out any kind of communication about this whole situation since it happened. She said they talk about everything, about birthdays, somebody's mother that was on a billboard somebody who works for the company, their mother was on a billboard about being a hero. She said, but nobody posted anything about it. And she said that her manager, or that's the EVP, went and was supposed to be bringing this up in a meeting or something like that, that she was supposed to be having right after that. And she said that she has been sending follow-up saying that this is taking too long for them to respond to something. This is what needs to be done. She was like, and make sure that when there is somebody who actually writes some type of communication, that they speak to somebody that is African American, that is in an executive position, which there are not many, and make sure that they proofread that before you put it out, and making sure that they don't, put a verbiage in it to make sure that it doesn't say stuff like all lives matter and stuff like that. It needs to be very specific and stuff like, and I thought to myself, I said, you know what? I didn't even realize that my job didn't send out a communication like that either, because I work for a lending company, and I'm like, I didn't notice, but when I logged in this morning, that was one of the first things that was there, because they sent it last night. They sent out something. They said something about doubling down on their efforts to support the African American employees that they have there, and they were going to be investing money into, HBCUs and stuff like that. So hopefully that works out. But it is very important that you know the people that you are friends with and that claim to be supportive of the African American race, and you, especially if there's one of your closest friends, because I'm actually kind of questioning one of them right now, and I'm supposed to go visit her in this summer. And I'm like, I sent her that link that you sent me, where right. But did you notice that they sent that back today, that they cut their email off so people couldn't send stuff to them?
Oh, I know. They probably got way too many emails. I saw it. I was mad, but
right.
It don't, for me, it's about the effort and the fact that this girl figured out how to fucking do that shit.
I saw that she saw it, because it says seen, like immediately after I sent it, but she texted us asking when we were coming out to her house, but I didn't see her respond to that message. I gotta bring that up though, but I feel like, I mean, she definitely spoke to me about it. I've spoken to her since all of this took place. But I had a whole discussion with her before during the Trayvon Martin situation that kind of, not that she was with them, but we had this debate because she was like saying that she can't even go into, because she's a lesbian, right? And she looks more masculine, and she's talking about how she can't go into a store with a hood on, just like how she normally dresses. And I was like, no, this is not the same thing. You cannot. I said, because if me and you went somewhere together, and I look how I look and you look how you look, they're looking at me before they look at you. So don't try to put your being gay in with this, because it's not the same thing. So, but can we take a break real quick? Because I gotta.
Yeah, sure. All right, so yeah, we was talking about Drew Brees. I just feel some type of way about that. I'm about to make a video. I'm making a video, and I'm gonna send this shit to Drew Brees, because I really don't appreciate the lack of knowledge of him being the type of individual that he is, and for you to have African American players on your team to not. I like what Tom Brady do, and Peyton Manning, and Michael Jordan, because you don't know nothing. You don't know if they Democrat or Republican, right? And I'm not saying it's not wrong to voice your opinion, but to voice your opinion and not have actual knowledge or be mature about what the other person's opinion is about or why they are protesting. If you're thinking about it one-sided, then I can't fuck with you. I just feel like you're just one side. Oh, grandfather, his great grandfather. Oh, in the Civil War. And, man, cut that shit the fuck out.
I gotta
cut that
say,
shit
when
out.
I heard him start, first of all, I was like, I'm thinking, oh, okay, good. They about to interview Drew Brees, who could, if he was on the right level, he could have brought this out to so many people who think like he does, unfortunately. But if you, just like you said earlier, whenever somebody says that stuff like that about the national anthem or whatever, like, how do you not see beyond all of that? How do you see that as disrespectful when you're silently protesting? He explained what he was doing it for far too many times for you to have to. But then you have way too much evidence, physical bodies, people that have died to show you exactly what it is we're talking about. He doubled down on the fact that he has on his white privilege and his statement today by saying that when I think of the national anthem, how many black people are in the national anthem? Then Malcolm Jenkins responded to what he said, talking about how his family members that served in the war, the same wars that his grandparents served in, and didn't receive the homecoming that they received. They still had racism to deal with when they came back because they had to wear their uniforms and come back. People telling them to take it off, people kicking them and putting them down for serving the country and making things okay for you back here in this country. It's so sad when you look at somebody. I really did like Drew Brees a lot because the Saints, I like that team. And Drew Brees really just...
At the end of the day, I feel like
I can't even look at him the same way.
Times like this allow us to separate ourselves from unnecessary important. Like, we're giving power to people that don't need power. So,
you're right.
You know, there's ways that I think one thing I really want everybody to come from, like, yes, the looting is crazy and all this shit, but there are so many ways that we really can show our power as a unity. Like I said, I think for me, I love to see some of the wins that we have been getting. So at this point, fuck old ass Drew fucking Brees. He's another white man that know how to throw a fucking football. We gotta stop giving these fucking people that do basic ass shit so much power. Fuck him.
No, that's not basic. The shit he doing ain't basic, but
I mean, it's basic.
The thing about him is that
it's a basic like in the sense of he's throwing the football, yes, but fuck him. Fuck Drew Brees. It could be another one to say something to.
I get that, right? But the thing about him is he can reach. If he came out and said something positive towards that could change. That could have reached a whole lot of people.
So did y'all see the
racist people?
Did you see the statement from Mr. Joe Gell over in Montgomery County? Did y'all get a chance to see that?
Who? Oh yeah.
It's like, first of all, Montgomery, even though he basically stated, like, you know, he talked about the riots and the looting and making that the thing, and like, oh, we a mess, and Black Lives Matter is pro-left radical group, terrorists, like all types of shit. Like, we're not the ones that's doing the looting. Like, and we all, at this point, we know that. We know the Black Lives Matter people are not the ones doing the looting. So
it's really all those white folks too.
It's white folks and it's young kids who don't know no better, right?
Them and police.
And they said it. I saw that article. Between the age of 18 and 24, all the kids that's got arrested for looting. And they said, I'm not talking to you. You just be on our recording, but yes. Between the ages of 18 and 24, those are the kids, those are the people that's doing the looting that was getting arrested. Now, granted, there was more people. I saw the whole IG video of this guy coming out of the spot right there on what's that sneaker store? DTLR?
Yeah.
Whatever that is. But the bull was recording him and he was getting in a new Mercedes Benz. Oh, bull was like, but you got a Benz though. Like, what's up with you? Like, we can't handle that. Like, we can't do that. Sorry, my daughter.
Did you see the group of people who there was an older model police car that was just randomly sitting in the middle of the street somewhere, and they had these people that came up. They had their whole faces covered. All you could see was this much of their eyes, and they were the people they bombed that car, set the car on fire. And it was another car. There was somebody in it that was not a person of color. Got out. They threw the bottle in there. Mazel tov. What was I was going to say? Mazel tov. Gotcha. No, or whatever it's called when you bomb. They threw the bottle in there. The guy put the bottle back out, threw it back in there. The car exploded. Every single time I've seen some type of arson like that, it's been somebody white. It hasn't been a single black person that's doing it. And then there was a black lady. No, that's not our thing. There was a black lady in New York where she was hollering at a group of white people talking about, don't come here to our neighborhoods, vandalizing and tearing shit up, because go down and do that on Wall Street. She's like, this is what I don't. Now, I'm not opposed to rioting in a situation like this, but don't sit up here and tear up your own neighborhoods, and don't be specific tearing up sneaker stores because you want to steal something or something like that. Go and burn police cars, because that makes sense. Go to City Hall, go to where the people who control everything, where they are, because you come into the neighborhood and tearing up places where your grandparents go to get food. They had an 8-year-old girl on the news talking about, and she said, you ain't see nobody saying this to her. She said, what are y'all going to do when y'all need to get food and go get stuff when all of this stuff is over? What are y'all going to do when everything is tore up? 8 years old.
People are scared to come outside. But on top of that, it for me, it's hard because, like I want people to be able to express themselves, and I do think, it was able to bring attention to what we needed to bring attention to, but they don't give a fuck about North Philly. They don't give a fuck about West Philly because the cops ain't been there. They downtown, cops is protecting the shit downtown. They like, y'all can fuck that shit up. I have not seen the cops stop nobody in ShopRite in Fox Street. Nobody on the same dollar. No cops in sight. None. They not coming up here. They just letting them niggas do it. So that's where it's like, y'all can do it. And now it's becoming the opportunist part of it because nobody's stopping y'all. Because the cops is right there where all the white folks is downtown, stopping and protecting those places. They don't give a fuck about protecting our places.
Right.
They want us to tear our places down.
Yep.
They want that. That's
exactly what they want.
They want that to happen. Wow. I mean, it's just proof in the pudding. Like, these niggas tore up a whole shopping mall. Did you see what they did to 52nd Street ShopRite? That whole shopping mall. So all y'all little hoes, when the world open up and y'all got them outfits on, we know that they came from Got to Look. We know it.
You see that sneaker store they was in? I think it was on Germantown Avenue. They
not Got to Look. Shut up. Yo, not Got to Look.
Them niggas went in Shoe Plus. They went and Got to Look. They rated G&G.
I agree with a couple people. Like a lot of people posting.
No,
like,
open back
even
up.
though we know the looting is bad, we gotta stop putting that in the forefront of the news. Like, there's a whole bunch of peaceful protests that are happening. Like, that's why, even though I know I made a couple posts about the looting, but I was like, you know what, Kyrie, come back to what the narrative really is about. It's really about George Floyd. It's really about getting this justice done. So I had to stop worrying about all the looting that was happening because it was happening. Those motherfuckers is not listening to my Instagram.
It's okay.
They don't even follow me. They don't give a fuck.
It's okay. But it's okay though, Kyra. It is important for us to vocalize how we feel the frustration about that, because what's going to happen is you don't want all of the looting and stuff like that to take over social media and what the media is trying to make you think that this is what's happening. It is taking people like, not just us. It matters for us locally, but it's people like who I was surprised to hear Gayle King was on the news talking about how it's not black people that's doing the looting and stuff like that. And they need people to make these news people.
put black people back. That's all.
I watched CNN for a good 2-3 hours on Saturday night. After we watched this movie, we was like, we just binged CNN, and I was surprised that Don Lemon wasn't like pointing out the fact that a lot of these people that were looting and doing the throwing of the bombs and stuff weren't black people. He was just too busy trying to point out the celebrities that haven't said anything. But those celebrities have since come out and made their voices heard, which is good too. But I really hope there has been some obvious change in things since then, which is good. And it's a shame that I think it's because it's a culmination of things where everybody just all of a sudden came out and went this hard, because we've been stuck in the house for 2.5 months, and it's just like, and it's just like, let's get out and talk about something. We're gonna protest. So let's hear what Slep has to say about that.
I agree.
So let's wrap this up. I do wanna say a couple things. Overall, this has been I can't do it with you. This has been a crazy time, guys. This has been crazy what we're going through right now. But life changing. At the end of the day, watching that video, nobody can sit there and watch that video. White, black, Asian, orange, green, Trump,
Chinese.
Ain't no orange, green people out here, but
say that wasn't the most heartbreaking video to watch.
Pakistan.
We want justice for everybody. We want justice for Breonna. We want justice for George. We want justice for Ahmaud. We want justice for Stephen. And I think Justin, somebody named Justin. It's so many people at this point. And understanding that, this all happened. Everything is happening for a reason. God has made a plan for us. We're going to come out of this bigger and better. COVID ain't stopped racism, and that's for sure.
No, it didn't at all.
Appreciate everybody that has been on the front line, supporting, still working in these hospitals, still on the, marching, doing everything to be able to get the results that we want to get. We want to keep that going. We want to keep the narrative of just justice above all. We're going to, if we don't make it even put our foot on these motherfucking necks, we're going to put our foot on their necks to let them know that this can't keep happening. And we're going to make everybody as uncomfortable as we can.
We're making a lot of positive change right now. Let's keep it going. Let's stop people of our age whose kids are out there doing this stuff. Keep y'all kids in the house, because it's your children that are out there doing that.
Leaving the house.
You can't get no medicine. Y'all can't go to Brown ShopRite. They've been in the neighborhoods.
And Brown's got the beef bacon. So I'm really mad I got to go all the way up to the white people ShopRite. They ain't got no beef bacon. I like, damn, they ain't got shit that the African American ShopRite got.
The Jewish neighborhoods, like it's a lot of Jewish people up here, so it's a lot of kosher stuff. So you can go to them and get the beef stuff.
All pork.
Slap, any last words?
Yes, you want to give
What you want to do now?
I'm
what
back.
You say now?
We want to give a big shout out to our sponsor, Love Jones, Miss Lori. She sponsored every show. You can follow her on Instagram at Adorned by Her. I'm not too sure what the email
is.
Half
of my heart.
Why? Do you want me to put the other half up?
Yes, please. You can put it up there.
There we go. Yes. But no. On a serious note, please just take care of yourself, and to the older parents, just make sure get them kids out of there, because if they get caught just walking, they don't even got to be looting. A cop can just pick them up, and the first thing he gonna say is, "Why was he out here? He wasn't looting. Mm-hmm. Why was he out here?" You know what I'm saying? So just get your kids in order, man. This is not the time to want to play a vigilante and steal things and blow up things. As we said earlier, a guy lost his life trying to blow up ATM machine. And listen, I just want to be like when he got up
Look
there,
at my
like then
mask on.
no, when he got up there, it's like when he looked at God, or God was like, damn, like God was like, how did you do that? God, I don't know. Can I get in? Can I get in? Like, I don't know, man. Well, we do feel sorry for him. I just want to know what he said to God. What you about to leave out?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So listen, we thank everybody who's listening and watch and follow the uncensored podcast. Make sure you tell a friend and tell a friend. Share, like, and subscribe our YouTube page. Share, like, our Instagram and Facebook page. We are the Uncensored Podcast. I'm Sniper.